My next guest in the program is Liberal MP Jason Falinski. Thanks very much for your time today. I'm sure you couldn't imagine a time in which you were going to release a tracing app as a member of government. This one is coming at a very different time, though. What's your assurance to people who are worried about data hoovering, Big Brother, whatever it might be?
Yeah, look, I think that we're very cognizant of the fact that people are concerned about their data and their privacy. And so anything that we do in this particular space will have greater than usual assurances around ensuring that people's data is both protected and maintained, and at the end of this process that it's destroyed.
There's obviously an encouragement to download the app and that we might be able to open up the economy earlier if that happens. No ruling out today on whether it's mandatory. That would be an interesting place to go to, even in a practical sense, making people download an app across the country.
Yeah, look, I would be my sincere hope that we don't need to go to mandatory downloading of the app. We want to make it as voluntary as possible because that obviously leads to higher compliance and people obviously having a higher level of trust in the app itself. And really this is just simply about a trade-off, which is the sooner that we can have measures like this, the sooner we can all get back to work and our normal way of life. If we don't have that, then we have to continue with the sort of measures that we have at the moment, which I don't think many people in Australia are enjoying.
All right, we're waiting to see the details, the technology and so on, and we might thrash that out once we know that. There has been a carrot dangled nonetheless by the Prime Minister. We might be within 4 weeks of beginning to release some of the handbrake on the economy. This might almost be the hardest time for people to take the direction seriously as well. It almost feels as though right now we've missed the worst of this. It's easy to feel complacent, isn't it?
It absolutely is, and I don't even like saying that we've missed the worst of it, because you might end up in the situation where the minute you say that, we suddenly find that we have a spike in cases, etc. I mean, we've seen too many examples overseas where people have thought, oh, well, this is the end of it, we'll peter out, and then what they've ended up with is a situation where cases have spiked. So, look, it's incredibly important at this point in time that we continue to observe all the measures that we have in place. We continue to look after ourselves and make sure that those we love and those of people we care for in our community remain safe. But obviously, we don't want to be in a situation in which you have you release the handbrake, and then you find yourself in a situation where you're having to go back in. That would be the worst possible outcome of anything that we do between now and next month.
Right. So to keep people on board as well, we've just been showing pictures of police, some of these pictures from the start of police going through parks, driving through parks and giving people the move on order, even in some cases people by themselves. Do we need to be careful about the social licence here, that people will follow rules if they feel they're logical? If they're by themselves in a park 20 metres from the nearest person, they might say, well, I'm just going to try to find a way to bend these rules because I don't believe in it anymore.
Yeah, look, I think Australians, by and large, or overwhelmingly, are pretty sensible about this stuff. And they also know when people are being heavy-handed. Mick Fuller has been on record in New South Wales as saying, look, some of the stuff we did early on was heavy-handed, and if we had our time again, we wouldn't have done it that way. And he's also said, look, as soon as we can hand these powers back, we will want to. It's not something that we want to hang on to. So when I heard him say that, I have to say that I felt a lot better about it. Right. I think that's pretty much the assessment of our political leaders, both in New South Wales and I know in Canberra. No one's enjoying this at a political level in any way, shape or form. So the sooner we can get through this, the better.
There's only so much that can be policed as well. What about the role for councils? We've seen the crowds at Bondi Beach, and then followed was just a straight closing of the beach, and happened at other beaches. Then people moved on and crowded other beaches as well. I mean, can't this, and I think there are some early plans, according to reports today, for this to be better managed rather than just shutting down public spaces. Have the councils performed well so far in all of this?
Well, look, I can only comment on what's been going on in New South Wales, and I think that most Australians are aware that there are 3 levels of government. Certainly in Canberra and Macquarie Street, there have been pretty firm responses to dealing with this crisis. But I've got to say, at the 3rd level of government, it has been incredibly disappointing. What you're talking about is the compounding, cascading closures of public spaces. Never before has been the well-run nature of our public spaces to ensure that everyone has access to them, that they're properly rationed, that you don't have overuse of them, and people in violation of public health orders being more important, because, you know, while all of us are being asked to stay at home, we know the importance of getting outside. We know the importance of spending even a little bit of time exercising outside, and so it's important that we have access to public spaces. But you start by closing one beach while everyone goes to the next one, so then you close that one. And before you know it, you have this situation where you've closed all the beaches and all the public spaces, and now everyone's stuck at home. And the reason for that is because councils, frankly, in particular in Waverley, but also in other parts of Sydney, have not done what they needed to do to ensure that public spaces could stay open. You know, Tom, I also point to, you know, what's going on with rentals at the moment. And obviously there are a lot of tenants who are under financial stress, but I know a lot of landlords who are under financial stress. And the state government's provided relief, the federal government's provided relief, but the state government pulled the only lever they had, which was land tax, that only applies to 16% of landlords. There's a particular level of government that has a particular tax that applies to all landlords and everyone who is in a home, and that is council rates. I'm yet to find a council anywhere in Australia that has offered to reduce their rates. Now, in Victoria and New South Wales, both governments have handed back tax, in effect. I just don't understand why there isn't more pressure or more comment on the fact that councils have done so little in this crisis to help the communities that they're meant to serve.
Challenge issued. We'll see if any councils get in touch to see if any of them have given up some revenue amidst this. Jason Falinski, thanks for your time.
Thanks for your time, Tom. Really appreciate it.